Parents strongly caution the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
And we are back. Y'all been asking for it and waiting for it. Here we go. We got Taylor Roberts from TapRoot. How you doing, dude?
Dude, I am wonderful. I'm home in New Orleans, visiting family and friends. Enjoyed Halloween. You can see I still have some of my black. I had my whole face painted. I had a shaman war headdress on yesterday, and just couldn't get that off. But it's like I wanted to look like Robert Pattinson from the new Batman movie. Like I've just been fighting crime all night. But dude, I'm doing great, man. You know, this has been an awesome trip. We're with some of our favorite people in the world. Staying with a good friend of ours named Shell, and dude, it's been great being home, man. We're seeing a lot of our friends. I'm in town with my producer Jacob Herman from Gothenburg, Sweden. Just doing the thing, man. How about you guys? Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Absolutely. We're doing good. I mean, Halloween, we just fucking worked. That's all we ever do is fucking work.
Dude, it was raining like crazy yesterday, but we made it out late, and we just started the festivities late at night, and it was awesome, man. Not too many weirdos.
I would love to be in New Orleans on Halloween. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself.
Dude, it's the best time in the entire world, man. It really is. So much fun, so many great costumes, and just really good people all around. Good energy.
Yeah. Cool. And you guys with TapRoot have been extremely busy.
Oh yeah. I feel like I've been stretched in about 10,000 different directions. But it's been awesome, man. We did all the Danny Wimmer Fest this year, you know, Aftershock, which we just played in Sacramento. Then we did we did Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio. We did Louder Than Life in Louisville, and then we did Welcome to Rockville down in Jacksonville. Or I'm sorry, Daytona. It used to be in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart right now. I live like 2.5 hours outside of Jacksonville. And Rockville was my shit. Like every year I was going to Jacksonville, then they had to move it to fucking Daytona. And I'm like, really, guys? Really?
I feel lucky to have been able to play both locations. And what's crazy is my old band from the coast, we played in 2013. And then 10 years later, I got to come back with TapRoot and play main stage. It was like, what the actual, or no, it was 2014. I'm sorry. So yeah, it was the 10-year anniversary of the first time that I played it. So it was just so cool to come back and be on main stage, 10 years later. It just feels like things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I was actually watching a podcast
Yeah.
today with you on it where you were talking about how you even got into TapRoot.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool story.
I mean, those dudes, because it was Phil, Mike, Steve, and Dave Coughlin at the time. And as you know, I'm in another band called Riding with Killers that I do all the writing. I sing, I play guitar for that band. And whenever I left my band from the Gulf Coast, I was like, I called Dave Coughlin because he's the older brother I never got to have. And I was like, dude, I'm coming to Detroit and we're going to write a record. And he was like, whatever, kid. And then I showed up. And we wrote a record over the last 4 years, which we're about to celebrate the first anniversary of Full Circle next year. And he sent the music to Steve, Phil, and it got passed around to Jared. And because, we brought Jared back on, and I'm the only unoriginal member in the band. And, they really liked the record and they were like, man, it's cool. He's still active. Is he still in Mississippi? And they were like, nah, he moved to Detroit. And I got a phone call and it's been such an incredible ride, man. We've gone all around the country, met a lot of great people. And, it's honestly boosted my band as well because the cool thing about this band is they don't treat me like I'm just some random hired gun. I get to have a voice in the band, but they support the art that I create as well. And they're just the best group of dudes. You know what I mean? And it's been amazing. I complete my second year with them this December.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yes, I knew you'd been with them for a while. So yeah. I've seen you with them, and we actually played one of your other band's videos because we've got a whole nother podcast where we play videos. And our manager Derek sent me your videos. Like, you got to get this on the show. This is Taylor's other band. I was like, all right,
thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, man. It's honestly been crazy, man. Because when I left the Gulf Coast, I essentially had to stop being myself. For about 3 or 4 years till I got all the music recorded, and then it's just like the last couple of years everything's exploding. I'm back on tour, I'm back writing albums. It's just been nice to be back to myself and getting to be on stage and let all of that back out, because I got 4 years of pent up aggression, and I'm only on year 2 of getting that back into the swing of things.
All right, cool. So we like to play a little game with you guys where we've got questions from 1 to 67. You can either choose your number or you could roll the dice, and it could be anything from pop culture to your music.
Okay.
You have no idea.
Let's go with the answer of all answers, and we'll see if you get this pop culture reference. 42.
42.
No, I don't.
What is that from?
The most uncomfortable outfit on stage.
Honestly, Aftershock. And it wasn't the clothing. I put a mask on because it was Halloween-y, and there was a bunch of slits in the mask, and every time I would breathe, I wasn't actually getting air, and the rubber would come up against my face, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna pass out, I'm gonna die, because we were playing at 4 in the afternoon, and it was hot as shit. And then after that first song, I was like, fuck, and finally got it off of me, but I had blood on my face. It was really cool, man. I had never actually performed with this makeup and get up, but it was one of the coolest things I had done. But that mask was god awful. The dude, and obviously the dudes in Slipknot have completely custom tailored masks, but it's hats off to those guys. But I will say, if I could have breathed better, it would have been fun. But it was Joel, yes, the answer to everything. You got, that's my trivia question to you. What is 42 from?
That's the answer to everything.
I should know, but I don't.
I don't have a clue.
Fuck yeah. Taylor 1, you guys 0. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Ah!
Bitch, it's been forever since I've seen that shit.
It's one of my favorite books and movies. It's so funny, dude.
I've
Such
never
a
read
great
the
movie.
book. I've seen the
It's
movie,
good.
but I've never read the book.
It's really good. You should check it out.
All right, so you want to pick a number? You want to roll?
I'm gonna let you guys deal.
Roll it.
All right, we're going to roll it with 61.
Ooh.
Beavis or Butthead? Which one are you?
Ooh. I'd probably say Beavis just because I'm an idiot. I mean, they're both idiots, but like I feel like
Yeah, I get it.
I'm definitely more on the goofier side for sure. And 9 times out of 10, most of the things that I say will probably be sarcastic and just out there. That's the way I want to live my life anyway. So
Hey, you
All
should,
right.
right?
So
Live it now.
There's actually a bonus question to that one. If
okay.
you think back to the first time you ever watched Beavis and Butthead, what was the very first music video you ever seen them play?
On Beavis and Butthead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh. Dude,
Dun,
I
dun.
honestly that's like trying to dig into the archives of me being like 12 or 13, and then my mom coming
Right?
into the room and taking that shit off and be like, "What the hell are you watching? Not in this house," because Bible Belt, like super
You
super
couldn't watch
Catholic
that stuff back
conservative,
then.
and like if she even heard some weird shit on the TV, it was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I mean, and it's so funny because like back in the day, she threw away like some of my Mudvayne CDs and other bands because she read the lyrics, but now like she loves what I'm doing. It's been the funniest evolution, but I love how open she's become, like from where we started to where we are now. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool to see that, she obviously loves and supports me. But dude, anytime it was something like that, she just shut it down. So I honestly can't remember.
Oh, it was the same
Oh,
way with me because, like, I was born and raised in Oklahoma,
Okay.
and so right in the middle, slap in the middle of the Bible Belt. But I do remember because I used to stay up and sneak into the living room and make sure my parents were asleep, go in there and watch. And I remember the very first episode I watched, there was 2 videos that stuck out to me the most, which was Pantera, This Love, and White Zombie's Thunder's Kiss 65.
Dude, with White Zombie. Mwah. What a
Yeah.
great tune. What a great tune. See,
I
I
was,
had to get all of my like risky TV watching in at my buddy Caleb's house on sleepovers because his
gotcha.
parents were all about it. And then at my grandmother's house, whenever everybody would go to sleep, because they slept like rocks, and they actually had like Comedy Central and everything like that. Because way back in the day, you had to have certain TV packages for that, and
Yeah.
we didn't have it at my house, but of course grandma and grandpa did. So
oh
that
yeah,
was my late night, South Parking and all that good stuff.
that was like me. I was a huge Marilyn Manson fan when Manson came out. Big Manson.
Still am, dude. The Pale Emperor is one of my favorite records.
Yeah, I love that fucking record. I was always a Manson fan, and he really is kind of what like pushed me into being a musician with my own band. And I could not listen to Manson. Like if I tried sneaking Manson into my house so many times, and my mom would find that shit and throw it in the fucking garbage so many damn times. And so I had a best friend where his parents were kind of like hippies and shit. They were real chill and smoked pot and shit and fucking smoked us out when we were like 15 for the first time. We'd sit around smoke and watch.
But you know what? At least it was a safe environment with parents, as opposed to you going out and buying bunk shit from some random person that doesn't give 2 fucks
Right.
about you. So I mean, like there is something to be said about that, and maybe that was a responsible way to introduce you to something like that. You know what I mean? So honestly, kudos to them.
Yeah,
Truly,
I mean,
truly.
dude, we would just like me, him, and his parents would like sit there, watch Beavis and Butthead, and smoke and like eat fucking goddamn copious bags of Doritos. We never fucking left. We never went anywhere.
It's so
Hey, you
funny.
knew where you were at. That's a smart move.
Well, and to tell you a fun story, just speaking about like music that was prohibited, like my mom, again, like one of the first new metal or hard rock records she ever like would willingly buy was like Linkin Park. And then because Hybrid Theory, I mean, she loved In the End and Crawling and all that good stuff. I mean, obviously that whole record is a masterpiece, front to back. Every song could have been a single. But she knew that I was getting into Slipknot, and she would never get self-titled for me. So I was with my grandma at Walmart, and I found self-titled, and it said it was edited. It didn't have the parental advisory sticker on it, and I was like, man, this is gonna suck. But you know what? I really want this record. I love this band. I feel it was like the first piece of dangerous music I really had, and I went to surfacing because that was my favorite song at the time. And I was like, it was like I was gearing myself up for disappointment because that fuck you all. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what is this gonna even be like? And then I was preparing myself for utter disappointment, and then all of a sudden I hear the lyrics completely unedited, and so I started going through the record, and I was like, this isn't edited at all. And it was like Slipknot's Joke to the Parents, the best fucking little gift in the entire world, man.
So there was like no like beeps or anything
Oh,
like they
nope,
used to do?
nope.
Oh.
The lyrics weren't taken out. I feel like that was Slipknot's Joke to the Parents.
That's pretty cool. That's a good one.
I feel cheated because I didn't find out about Slipknot until I was in my 20s. And it was by sheer accident. I went up to Atlanta because I was a big Killswitch Engage fan.
Same.
And they were playing with Shadow. It was the Jägermeister music tour. Now, Slipknot was the headliner, but it was them, Killswitch Engage, and Shadows Fall.
Ooh, what year was this?
Oh, 2004, 2005.
So this is The War Within on Shadows Fall, probably, and
Yeah.
then Killswitch was on probably the end of Heartache, and then they were probably on Volume 3.
Yes. No, they weren't on Volume 3. I think Iowa had just came out.
Well, no, Iowa was 2002.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay, it may have
And
been.
Volume 3 was 04.
Okay, it may have been then.
I'm a
because
super huge music nerd, dude. Like, I
it
always
was
read, like, the
probably-
liner notes, like...
04, 05, and it was at the Tabernacle in Atlanta.
Ooh, I bet that was an incredible show, man.
It was, because I'd never seen anything like it. And so, like, I went, and Shadows Fall played. They had, like, one or two local bands that kind of opened it.
Right.
And then it was Shadows Fall, and then Killswitch. And this dude, I hear him sitting there talking about Slipknot. He was like, oh, da, da, da. I was like, I was about to leave because I was there to see Killswitch.
Right.
And they were like, no, don't leave. Trust me, you're going to want to see a band. And I was like,
that person cared about you.
I was like, I've never even heard of them. And then he was like, do yourself a favor. Don't go anywhere and stay and watch this band. So we sat back down. And I got fucking mind blown, and I got obsessed with Slipknot like right off the bat as soon as they came out, because the very first song they started off with right off the rip was Heretic's Anthem.
Ooh,
I mean, right off the rip. And
that's awesome.
Corey Taylor was climbing up on top of shit and jumping on people's tables and just screaming at them, grabbing them by the head. And I'd never seen a band do anything to that measure ever. At that
Dude, those guys were wild, but especially back on the Ozfest days, they would fight each other. They would puke on stage. They did some wild shit.
Mm-hmm. That they did. All right, so you want to pick a number? You want us to roll?
Lucky number 13.
All right,
number 13 it is. If you had an unlimited budget, what kind of video would you make?
Ooh. Man, that's a really good question. I've always wanted to do something in the desert. I think that would be really cool. Like I know Korn did something really dope, and that it was like a live thing that they did. And some of my favorite EDM artists have done like live sets out in the desert. I think if you could find a really cool location and maybe have it like, where you're driving along the highway and, you're in an old school, like maybe an old 69 Continental blacked out or something. And, kind of mix it between like a live performance, but like also have a story incorporated in there. Like maybe you're going to bury a body or you're, getting out of your hometown or whatever it is, man. You make it like a noir type film and just really storyboard the shit out of it.
That's cool. Like I whenever I hear desert, the first thing I think of is that video for Chelsea Grin, Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's done in like the Salt Flats, and they did it out there, and it's fucking fantastic.
There's quite a few different places you can do there. Right outside of Vegas. You can go.
Yeah,
There's those flats that are
exactly.
out there, or you can go to the sand dunes. There's some sand
And
dunes
you
in
know what? That
Arizona.
was going to be my next thing. You could also have like motocross, like make it almost like a skate video, but like you know, extreme sports type. Like there's so many directions that you could go with it.
Yes,
My
yeah.
old stomping grounds. That's the only reason I know. Is because I grew
see.
up all in that area, in the Vegas and the Arizona area, in the desert. So that's what we did. We were on the Colorado River. We were going to Vegas. We were hitting the desert. We were doing all that.
Can I tell you how lucky you are to have been able to experience that growing? And I'm sure the shows that came through there were probably incredible because I mean it's a big city and it's a hub, you know.
Mm-hmm. You get all kinds of stuff out.
I lived in Vegas for about 2 years, and I seen some pretty incredible stuff. And at the time, I've also did some like independent horror films that I acted in, and I had to do this clown movie out in the fucking gold mines of outside of Vegas. And I'll tell
That
you,
was creepy.
it was creepy, but it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life because it was so fucking hot, and I had this goddamn clown mask on, made out of fucking rubber latex. And it's like
Ooh.
130 degrees outside, and we're filming like fight scenes and shit.
That's dry heat too, baby. Like, oof.
Yeah. And it was
Yes.
like you had very limited time to film because it was so hot. The black makeup underneath the mask would just start fucking melting and pouring all down your neck. And so it's like you'd have to film for 5 minutes, take it off, wipe it off, reapply, mask on, film for 5 minutes. And it was like repeat for like a whole entire day. And it was so excruciatingly hot.
That sounds brutal.
And I could only imagine being out there and like everything shooting videos in like 130 degree fucking heat.
You know?
Yeah. You're going to need some AC.
It's all for the art. It's all for the
right?
True,
Just
true.
go to a little town where there's a whole bunch of like Oatman, Arizona. There you go. It's a small little town out in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of donkeys in like a ghost town with mines and all kinds of stuff. And it's in the desert.
There's
Gotta
just
get creative.
donkeys.
Hey, there's AC at least. You just go in.
You know, what more do you need?
Okay. All right. So bonus question before we get back into the game. What was that one pivotal moment in your life? Was it a music video? Was it a band? Was it a certain time that made you decide you wanted to be a musician and that's all there was to it?
I'm gonna give you two because there are two really important moments. The first time I ever heard Papa Roach's Between Angels and Insects, that opening riff was like a direct bullseye to my ear, and I was like, and it reminds me of this old Billy Gibbons interview I used to watch where he's talking about the same thing. He heard this guitar on the radio, and he was like, I got to make that noise. And then because I was playing alto saxophone at the time, I was pretty damn good at it, and when I heard that opening riff, I was like, man, I don't want to play saxophone anymore. I got to play guitar. And so I started begging my mom for a guitar. And I finally got one at the age of 10 during Christmas, a little blue Strat from a company called Lotus, like a little $125 guy. But that thing ripped and I played the ever living shit out of it. And the moment that I knew that I wanted to be a touring live musician was when I was, I want to say probably 14, either 13 or 14. Lincoln Park and Mudvayne, Blindside, and Exhibit came to the UNO Lakefront in New Orleans, and it was Project Revolution. And while we were waiting in line, the Lincoln Park Underground fan club was walking around just asking trivia questions. And they were like, what is one magazine that only features one band member? And I was like, Guitar World, you know, because I always got my mom and grandma to buy me those magazines so I could look at guitars, read interviews from my favorite, you know, players, learn how to play songs because, you know, they had tabs at the back of the book. Like it was one of my favorite magazines of all time. And, you know, I got the question right. Like my other friends got the questions right. And so they let us into the venue early. We got to do a meet and greet with Lincoln Park. Super sweet guys. I'm so happy and lucky that I got to shake Chester's hand and just talk to him for a minute. And then after the meet and greet was done, they were like, well, you guys get to go into the venue first. And so we fucking bolted. beat everybody, because there was like maybe 20 or 30 of us that got to go back, and my friends and I were like, we're getting to the front row center barricade, and then we just bolted, man. And I was right front and center for all the bands, man. But then, like, whenever Linkin Park came on, man, that was right during the Meteora album cycle. So they had more money behind them. They had set builds. Like, it was a much bigger production. And I was right in front of Chester, Brad Delson, Mike Shinoda. And like that night, I was like, all right, I know what I got to do. I know exactly what I got to do.
I'm so fucking jealous. I never got to see him. I wanted to see him so bad. And every time I tried to see him, something would fuck up to where I didn't get to go to the show, couldn't see him. It sucks so fucking bad. The only one that I did get to see right before they passed was actually Chris Cornell with Soundgarden. And
dude, my old band was supposed to open for him, and then a week beforehand, we were going to play Rocklahoma with him. I was that close.
See, I seen him at Welcome to Rockville 2 weeks before he passed.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, whenever I seen that he had passed, it killed me. I was like, I'm just glad that I got to see him one time.
Yeah.
Before.
Awesome. That's super awesome, man. That's really cool.
You want to roll or you want to pick?
Since I picked, dealer's choice.
All right.
Could you bring in a Kleenex real fast? I'm so sorry. My allergies are like dying.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Let me see. Number 26 is the top freaky songs. Top 3 freaky songs on your playlist. So,
like to get freaky too?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Wiring mind want to know.
Give me 2 seconds.
Allergies. I know all about allergies. They're horrible.
And like, since I've been in Detroit for like 5 years, and I mean, we were just in California. We flew back to Michigan, and now we're down here, and then we're going back to Michigan tomorrow. It's just like my body's like, what the fuck is happening?
Right? It doesn't even know what kind of air it's breathing.
Dude, it's brutal. You know, you go to no humidity, a little bit of humidity, all the humidity, and then when I get home, it's gonna be cold as shit. Oh, sorry about that, guys.
You're good.
Ooh, I would say, especially because it makes me feel confident, which it's that extra confidence booster. I would say Sweatpants by Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Taste of You by Rez. And All I Need by Clams Casino. Although I will say, like, you can get freaky that, but that's more of like a making love, like really passionate, getting into your partner.
Yeah.
And it's not rock songs at all. It's all EDM and a little bit of hip hop.
Yeah, see,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Like mine's like anything by Deftones. Anything by
Yeah, you're right. That's another good one. I mean,
because you got like Sex Tape, Passenger.
For me, oh god, Digital Bath. That
one.
Yes,
Digital Bath is a big one.
And Potions by Pucifer.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anything off of Hell Emperor by Marilyn Manson, especially Say 10. I don't know why that song is sexy to me, but it is.
Or Third Day of a 7-Day Binge, like that song.
Yes.
It's great if you're out on an actual binge too.
Yeah. And then the newer, I just discovered them about a year ago, but Sleep Token.
I haven't really listened to much of them. I know a lot of my friends and fellow musicians are really into that band. Just haven't had the time to really sit down and dive in.
It's like R&B clashed with metal, and it's so different and kind of like ethereal, if that makes any sense.
Totally.
Like, it's unlike anything I've ever heard, which at first I was kind of iffy about it, because I mean, I'm a pretty hardcore, metalhead and new metal, industrial metal, shit like that. Like, I've been a big TapRoot fan ever since fucking TapRoot came out. Same. And I at first was like, and then I heard about 2 or 3 more songs. I'm like, oh shit. And then I started learning to listen to the lyrics and listen to all the instrumentation going on. I'm like, fuck, there's a lot of shit going on here.
I
And
mean,
then
they've got to be good with it as quickly as, and I don't want to say as quickly as they blew up, but like they've just been on a steady rise because, you know, there's
Yeah.
obviously that grind phase, but I mean, like I'm definitely aware. I just haven't found the right starting point to jump in with them.
yeah, so it took a lot of people pushing me into that era to get into it. And my roommate is a huge Sleep Token fan, so she's playing it all the time, and I'm just like, oh shit, these guys are actually pretty dope. All right, all right, I
I'll
can
have to
dig
give
this.
them I'll have to give them a listen because aside from the music thing, whenever I'm not on the road, I own and operate a commercial and residential painting business, aptly named Rock and Roll Painting. And I work by myself. I've got a really good system, so it's always my chance to just throw in the headphones, get lost, and just go for hours. So
Nice.
I will make the vow that I will jam some Sleep Token in your honor.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you. Excellent.
Sure.
All right, so if
Ooh, and one more. I'm sorry, I gotta throw one more freaky song in there.
do it,
Dead Mouse and Cascade, "Move for Me," but it has to be the GTA remix.
you know,
Oh,
I
remake.
I didn't get into EDM until Dead Mouse,
Dude, Dead Mouse is the king. He
and
really is. I
I
flew out to see him at Red Rocks after I finished the second doing the music for the second Riding with Killers record, and one of the best experiences ever. And then I've seen him like 4 times since in the last year.
I seen him in Vegas, and it was all by sheer accident.
Isn't that the
'Cause
best?
I had a friend that I was in town in Vegas, and this wasn't long ago. This was maybe 2.5 years ago. And I went to go to Vegas and see some friends of mine. And they're like, "Hey, we're going to a show. You know, we got an open ticket. Do you want to go? I know that you had other friends that you were just going to go eat dinner with, but trust us, you're going to want to go to the show." And I'm
Those are
like,
good friends, man.
and I'm like, "What kind of show is it?" And they're like, "It's EDM." I'm like, "I'm not really an EDM guy." And they're like, "No, please, please go. Please go." And I was like, "Fuck it. All right, I'll go." So I go, and it was insane. Number one,
Mhm.
I've never seen so many naked people in one spot at one time.
Molly and ecstasy, baby. Let's go.
Right?
Never in my
Good old
life
time out there.
have I seen so many naked people all in one spot. But it was phenomenal. The light show, the music, the whole atmosphere,
Dude,
like
production and visuals for
yeah,
shows like that are
and
incredible.
even just the people there. There was no negativity. There was no bullshit. There was no fighting.
We're
Like
gonna touch on that
Good
for
time.
sure. So I will say, like, I've gotten to the point to where my wife and I, if we're not on tour playing rock festivals, all we go to are EDM festivals like Electric Forest, Okeechobee. You know, we want to hit Halloween, Lost Lands, like because of just that, man. Like people aren't drinking. I mean, there are definitely people drinking, but you know, people are on drugs and the right kind of drugs. And there are the right kind if you use them responsibly. I'm not advocating for drug use, but if you are going to
Yeah.
do them, there are the right ones. And it just like Molly and X, you know, like you get lovey-dovey, you get happy, you're more receptive to people, I feel, and there's just such a sense of community and love. And I feel like a lot of the times you don't get that with the rock crowd. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about the rock crowd. I love the rock crowd. That's who I make music for. That's who I am as well. But like, I've never once at an EDM show or festival felt like I was going to have to fight somebody or like, you know, defend myself or protect Macy or anything like that. Like there's just such a sense of love and happiness and spirituality that surrounds that community. And don't get me wrong, there's shitheads in every single community. It
Yeah.
exists within the bass community, it exists in the EDM world, it exists in rock. But I feel like at those festivals and those shows, everyone's just really happy, man. And the
Yeah.
coolest part about it though is that in EDM, there are so many elements of metal, and most of these guys are metal guys, you know,
Yeah.
and that's just how it is, you
yeah,
know.
see, I liked what really kind of pushed me into being open to like EDM was Korn's album, that Path of
Yeah,
Totality. And
yep.
when I heard that album, it just shook me to the core. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it wasn't a bad like what the fuck. It was like,
It's different.
Yeah, this is different. Like this opens up a whole new goddamn world.
Yeah.
And I found another band later on that has always introduced like EDM and techno into their music, which is a band called the Browning.
Okay.
And I got real deep into the Browning and started listening to them a lot. And I mean, mixing the genres just kind of like opened up the whole thing. And I was like, okay, now I got to like actually listen to actual EDM.
Well, and that's why I've gravitated towards more EDM in recent years. Is because I feel like if I just stick listening to rock, which I love rock music, I love metal. Like I said, that's what I write. But I'm always afraid that if I'm listening to too many new bands or that's all I'm listening to, I'm just going to regurgitate the same crap. Whereas if I listen to EDM, I can find different elements within the genre. Well, how can I incorporate this into my world? How can I bring what I love from this world to the music that I create? And it's been a really good source of creativity, and it's been one of the best outlets I think I've had, in God, probably 10 years.
So that leads me to a good question. What type of music do you prefer to listen to when you are writing? Because I know, like for me, if I'm writing, like my band is recording an album right now, I don't listen to metal.
No.
I actually listen to like two of my things that I listen to the most is Post Malone and The Weeknd.
Okay.
And everybody's got different stuff, and I kind of feel like if you listen to the same music that you're putting out, you tend to kind of do variations of what you're listening to, and it really doesn't like open up that box.
Exactly. I mean, that's basically touching on what I said earlier. Like I don't want to regurgitate what I'm listening to when it comes to rock, because I'll notice that if I like a song and I'm sitting down, like I might mimic that riff unintentionally, and then it's like, okay, I got to throw this away because otherwise people are gonna be, oh, he's a fan of so and so. And I mean, dude, I like to listen to a lot of Sage Francis, Dead Mouse, Rufus the Soul, God, Leon Bridges, Otis Redding, Childish Gambino. Like I like to dive outside of my genre for sure, but I also want to listen to songs that are going to evoke emotion, especially if the song can make me cry. Because that'll put me in a good headspace, and that'll put me in that vulnerable position to get the real stuff out. Because if I'm gonna record something, I want it to be real. I don't like I'm not trying to with writing with Killers, like I'm not trying to write radio singles. I'm not trying to write songs to be the next Octane band or whatever it is. I'm trying to write music for me. And I feel like if I'm satisfied with it and it makes me feel something, then hopefully it translates out to the rest of the world. So I just try to listen to songs that make me emotional, and because recording is a very personal, spiritual experience. It's getting out any negativity, sadness, or even happiness, and putting it in a positive light, and making something beautiful out of something potentially ugly.
Right.
So I like to venture anywhere and everywhere. I mean, hell, I listen to Frank Sinatra day and night. That.
I'm the same way. Like I've come to find out over the years, like I don't write well if I'm pissed off or angry. So I won't listen to anything that's gonna like hype me up to that type of emotion. Like it's like when I go to the gym, I'm gonna listen to shit like Slaughter to Prevail, and I'm gonna listen to the really heavy shit because it gets me pissed off, and I'm fucking just killing it in the fucking gym. But when I'm writing, I find that if I'm super super happy and in a great mood, then I write the best shit I've ever wrote.
You
But
got a clear conscience, you got a clear head, and then you can tap into that stuff. It's very important. Mindset is key.
excellent. So, you want to pick a number or do you want to roll?
31.
31. If you can bring back any rock star, who would it be?
Scott Weiland.
Oh shit! I did not expect that.
That's part of why I have red hair, man.
I was waiting on you to say Chester. I'm like, he's gonna say Chester.
I feel like that was gonna be pretty obvious. I mean, I would love for that to happen too, but like, I'm a really big fan of Scott Weiland. I loved Velvet Revolver. Obviously, big Stone Temple Pilots fan, but I don't know, man. I really hate I never got to see that guy live. I hate we never got another Velvet Revolver which I think we got like some sort of Velvet Revolver, but like it wasn't like Contraband was, you know?
No.
And like Coma and Interstate Love Song and the list goes on and on. But I never got to see him live. A couple of really good friends of mine from the coast, Aaron Moeller and Maxie. They tour managed for him, did front of house. They said he was the sweetest guy in the entire world, and they absolutely loved him. I know Maxie worked for him for probably 15, 20 years or something like that. And those are those awesome old road dogs that like once you get into their circle, like they just tell you the craziest, coolest stories. And it would have been really cool to meet him and obviously still have STP around.
I never got to meet them, but I did get to see them before he passed, which was great because actually I was pretty young, and I went to a festival, and I'll never forget it because I got to see 3 huge bands during that festival that a lot of people have never got to see, which was Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, and Sublime.
Oh wow!
All within this festival, and I all got to see all of them, and I'll never fucking forget that day.
Yeah, that's pretty lucky, man.
Because I watched all 3, and it was absolutely fucking phenomenal. But yeah, you blew me away with that because I was expecting Chester. I really was.
I like different answers.
Thank you.
I like the different answers.
Yeah, I can't be predictable, man. That's not chaos.
No.
So being that Halloween was yesterday,
Joker, I got to embody.
Oh goddamn, you're on a fucking tangent.
I'm a big Batman fan. There you go. I'm a huge Batman fan. Huge. I got Batman all over in here, everywhere.
So my mom raised me on the Michael Keaton movies, and then the '92 animated series was it still is my jam, man. Like those cartoons hold up so well.
See, my favorite, as far as Batman is concerned, my favorite comic was Death of the Family.
Yeah.
I loved that storyline. That storyline was so fucking gruesome and just dark, and everything that Batman was. Like, I'm not a big DC fan. I'm more Marvel.
Yeah.
But Batman was... It was just something on a whole nother fucking level outside of anything else DC was doing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's kind of like Batman and Spider-Man, like Spider-Man was always my go-to in Marvel, and Batman was always my go-to in DC. But I'm a big old comic book nerd, man. So I love both universes, and it just means more comics for me.
Yeah. See, with Marvel is X-Men. I was a big X-Men fanatic. Like, I watched...
Who's your favorite?
As far as the X-Men concerned, I would probably have to go with Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Nightcrawler was always my guy. I know most people are like, Wolverine, fucking Cyclops.
All about Shank.
No, that was
Gambit for me.
I was all about Nightcrawler as far as like heroes are concerned. And I guess if you go villains, it's definitely going to be Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've just outplayed the fuck out of Magneto. Like, give us Mr. Sinister. You've fucking teased him in the movies fucking 50,000 times. All right, let's up it. Come on.
I mean, shit, it took us, 20 years to get Wolverine in an actual comic book accurate costume?
I still haven't seen it.
It's really good. It's honestly, it's a great movie. It's awesome. Like, God bless Ryan Reynolds for the Deadpool universe and doing everything that he's done. Gambit is mine.
Gambit would actually be my second. That would be my second. No, well, I don't know. The character was just cool. He had a unique power. He was much different than the rest of them. Like, I hated the way they did Gambit and fucking Wolverine Origins. I did not like it. But I've heard the Channing Tatum Gambit is fucking amazing, and I can't wait to see it because I know it's going to be on Disney Plus in like a week.
Yeah,
Sweet.
which is hilarious that Deadpool 3 is on Disney Plus.
Dude, you're telling me.
Who rates these things?
Disney being like all like no rated R, no, that's bad, and then Deadpool is this like worldwide phenomenon. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's cool.
I feel like Idiocracy is happening right before our eyes.
Yeah, you're making all that goddamn money. Of course you are. All right, so being that Halloween was yesterday.
Yes.
If you were to be locked in a house for 24 hours with any horror icon, who would it be?
I hope you survive.
Now you got to think. Do you want to die really fast or do you want to survive? Or chance at survival?
I'm not dying. That's for damn sure.
But which one you can take on then?
That's or what I'm like Chucky.
That's a popular answer.
I could kick that little bitch across the room and then tie his ass up until 24 hours is up. I feel like Michael Myers would be really like, because that dude is like, what, 6 foot something, and I'm like 5'8", so I'm like a midget compared to him. Definitely not Art the Clown. Fuck that shit.
You're not a clown guy?
Dude, it's not that I'm not a clown guy. It's just that that motherfucker is insane and brutal. That's one of those, if I knew that I was in there, I'm just killing myself.
Yeah, I actually
fuck that.
I actually went and seen Terrifier 3 in theaters a couple of weeks ago, and actually just this last, Wednesday, I actually got to interview John Abrams from Terrifier 3.
No way.
So that was a good podcast.
That's
so
really
I got invited to be a guest host on another podcast, and they had John Abrams on, so that was pretty cool.
That's super sick.
I tell people all the time, there's two that always stand out in my mind. One is a leprechaun. Give him the goddamn gold. That's it. That's all you got to do. 2, Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's a fucking fish. He's only going to be able to breathe for so long out of the goddamn water.
Yep. True.
So
true.
Outrun his ass and fucking lock yourself in a closet, and he'll eventually collapse and die.
Right. Or we could take
what is the blob made out of? Is it flammable?
The blob?
I don't know. I feel like that was one of those things that it just absorbed everything and got bigger and bigger and bigger. Another would be like one of the zombies from Night of the Living Dead, just because they weren't running at that point. They weren't like, maybe fight off a zombie horde or something.
Yeah, fucking like Resident Evil, where they fucking split in two and become fucking tentacles and shit. Yeah.
or like John Carpenter's The Thing. Like,
oh hell no. Hell fucking no.
Or what would be pretty cool too though is those things from A Quiet Place just don't make a fucking sound.
See that. I don't know.
I'm gonna light it on fire. Apparently, I'm lighting it all on fire.
That movie, I went to the theaters and seen that movie, and it was a good movie, but like it was just very odd that most of the movie was just silent and you could hear everything in the fucking theater going on at any second.
Right. And then one person.
Yeah. All right. So if you could tour with any 3 bands of your choice, who would you tour with?
Papa Roach, just because of that connection there. Mudvayne, which I was just side stage for them at Pine Knob. My buddy Marcus is playing guitar for them, and my buddy Sean was on that tour, and I was like bawling my eyes out the whole set, man. It was awesome. Like, I would love to be on the road with those guys. And then that last one's a toughie, man. Either Slipknot or Alice in Chains.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, why you
I know you say 3, but it's hard to get it down to 3.
I mean, I could see that.
Oh, that's rough, man. I don't know, because like I was a huge Alice in Chains fan growing up.
Yeah,
huge Alice in Chains fan. Fuck, man, you fucked me up. All right, so flipping the script on that one, if you could tour with any 3 bands completely outside of your genre, not even related to your genre at all, who would it be?
Deadmau5.
I've seen that one coming.
Gunship for sure.
And
for fun, Mia Gladstone. I fucking love that girl, dude.
Mix it up a little bit.
Well, so the way I found her was when I had first moved to Detroit. I was in an H&M, and I heard her song "Geekin'," and it was one of those songs that just hit me right in the middle of my eardrum. And I stopped, and I was like, "What the fuck is it?" And I was like, "Shazam!" And then she was supposed to come through town like a month or 2 later, and I was like, "Oh my god, what a great organic way to find an artist!" Now I get to see her live, and then COVID happened, and then Macy and I ended up going down to Okeechobee a couple years later, and you know, I've definitely been trying to spread the gospel of Mia Gladstone, but she randomly showed up on a Sunday at that festival, and I got to see her front row center on the barricade, and it was just like, oh, redeemed, love it. But she's so creative, man. Like, that girl is the master of like looping, and she's got such incredible vocal range and control. And she's just super creative. Like, I would love to lay down some guitar work for her someday, and just work with her on a track, man. She's one of my favorite, you know, female artists that I've found in recent years, and I love everything she does, man.
All right. So, do you want to roll or do you want to pick?
Did I pick last time? I think I did.
Yeah. You want to roll?
Roll.
All right, roll.
All right. 63. The last song you sang in the shower.
I really don't sing in the shower. I'm honestly serious. So fun fact, I stopped smoking weed. The 18th of this month will make 3 months. And I did that in an effort to improve my vocal cords, because, you know, like with Riding with Killers, I'm the main vocalist, and I'm getting to where I'm having to sing 75-minute sets. And then with TapRoot, I do backing vocals, I do backing screams, I harmonize, and it was one of those things to where it's like, I want to give the best performance that I possibly can. So 9 times out of 10, if I'm not singing at a show, or you know, just running through scales at home or writing in studio, I actually try to just stay on vocal rest. Like, I really don't talk that much. Like, I mean, I do talk, but like a lot of the times if I'm quiet, it's not because I'm mad or anything or don't want to talk. It's just vocal rest, you know, because I got to protect this. And for me, I feel like it's my way of rehabbing my vocals from years of smoking marijuana. Like, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I've really started to get serious more about what I'm putting in my body, what I'm doing, and then, you know, realizing how I'm using my voice and utilizing it. So I really don't sing in the shower.
All right.
Fair enough. All right. So, you want to pick one or you want to roll?
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7 is going to be, do you think that artwork on albums are important?
Oh, hell yeah.
I would have to agree with you.
So I know this is TapRoot, and I keep talking about my other band, but the front cover and back cover of my band's record, Full Circle, I took those pictures while I was in the Bahamas, and it was the first time that I never hit up a graphic artist and was like, hey, design a cover, blah. it was really cool to be the creative direction behind that. And honestly, it's one of my favorite album covers and back covers that I've ever had in my musical career. And you know, I feel like most album covers are cool pictures that people have taken, and obviously there's cool ones that you can create in Photoshop or whatever have you, but it makes it that much more meaningful as opposed to just hiring, you know, or subcontracting out, you know, your artwork for that. So I think it's very important. I think it sets the entire mood of what you're about to dive into. And if you ever look at the cover of Full Circle, um, it's pretty daunting. You know, it's a beautiful photo. It's a beautiful photo, but my God, was it fucking scary because I had to walk down that road. And so you see it's a dirt road and there's a light and then there's like just pitch black behind it. And I had to walk straight into that shit. And there was, on that island, they had spiders and tarantulas as big as your hands. They had poisonous snakes and they had pigs out there that will absolutely fucking kill you and eat you. And a lot of the locals, they were like, dude, you got fucking lucky. And I was like, what do you mean? And they told me all that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm really fucking happy. I didn't know any of that going into that. But I was basically on a beach, a private beach. I had some locals drop me off at the beach. So because I didn't walk there and I was lost in conversation with these guys, I didn't really pay attention to my surroundings. So I got lost on the way back trying to get to the house we were staying at. We were doing some work out there for like 3 weeks, which was awesome. And you know, it inspired the opening track, Do This on My Own. And you know, pictures are very powerful tools, and I was really happy that I was able to make that, you know, the album cover. And speaking of pictures, I mean, that's what Welcome is, you know, and fucking Blue Sky Research, you know, those album covers and the backs are gorgeous, you know, and it's because it's actual physical art and stuff that people have taken.
Yeah.
Excellent. So on that, we have ran out of time, but if you guys hang out for just a little bit, we're actually going to play a video from his other band, Riding with Killers, and this is a video and a song called DNA. So if you hang out after the show, we're actually going to be doing a music video podcast here in about an hour. We'll be back. But on that, go follow all of Taylor's bands. Go follow TapRoot. Go check out Riding with Killers. Go find them on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else.
Everywhere.
The merch. Go watch them at a fucking show. Go buy some tickets. Get out of your damn house.
And speaking of, to that note, this month, November 22nd, I'm pulling double duty at the legendary world famous machine shop in Flint, Michigan. TapRoot weekend, and my band Riding with Killers is opening. And it's a TapRoot family show. You know, Jared's other band Westfall is right after, so it's offshoots of TapRoot playing, and then you know, it's going to be a long fun weekend and evening. But I'm really excited for that night in particular because, again, man, I love getting to play 2 shows in one night, and it lets me know what I'm worth, and I get to test my grit.
Excellent.
So, tickets still available now.
If you're out there, go to the show. If I could fly to Michigan, I fucking would.
Because here's the thing. If you want to see us at the machine shop, this is your only chance, because the other Riding with Killers show at the machine shop is sold out with Nonpoint and our friends Kaleido, and that is December 13th. So if you want to see us and TapRoot, November 22nd.
You heard it here. Get out there and do it, guys.
So anyways, this is Riding with Killers DNA, and we will see you guys in about an hour.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It's super.
Thank you, Taylor. We appreciate it.
Just want to say thank all of you for coming. Thank you for sharing. And next we're going to hear from